One of the biggest mistakes that you've made in your life was believing that there is something outside of you that is responsible for your existence, that is responsible for reality. And you didn't realize that by believing that there is something that is outside of you that is responsible for reality, that is responsible for your existence, you are giving your power away. Why did you believe that there was something outside of you that is responsible for reality? You could have believed that you're God. Why did you believe that there is something outside of you that created you, that created everything? Why didn't you believe that you're God? I mean, think about it. Have you met God? Do you remember being created? Do you remember waking up and being told what this whole experience was about? You wake up and you're like, okay, what's going on? And something outside of you explained to you what was actually going on. And it told you that it created you. Do you remember that happening? I want you to ask yourself this question. This is a very important question. How does God realize that he's God? How? It's not like there is something outside of him that's going to tell him that he's God. Don't you think it's God himself that would need to realize that he's God? Because he wasn't created. He's the Alpha. He's the Omega. He doesn't know how he started to exist. And he couldn't know how he started to exist. He just found himself existing. He existed before he was able to ask questions. So he didn't ask questions He only asked questions when he was able to ask questions. And he was like, what created me? Because I exist. I know that I'm conscious, but what created me? There must be something that has created me. I cannot just exist without a creator. That is impossible. I remember I was having a debate with this other Christian the other day. I was like, God is an atheist. I mean, not God, but the God that you believe in is an atheist because he believes that no one created him. Why should you not be like him and be an atheist? I mean, who created you? You don't remember being created, do you? You just found yourself having this experience. And she was like, I was born. I was like, do you remember being born? And even if you do remember being born, How sure are you that whatever is happening in this world is actually happening outside of you? You gave your power away when you believed that there was something outside of you that is responsible for reality. And you started to give it more power when you felt like in order to get what you want, you must beg it to give you what you want. Remember, if God doesn't know that He's God and He's powerful, if He believes that He's not God, that will become His reality because He's powerful. So He believes that, okay, I'm not God. Yeah. He's not God because He believes that He's not God. Not because He's not God. He's not God because He believes that He's not God. He's so powerful that He can convince Himself that He's not God and actually believe that He's not God. You see? God can do that. So, if He believes that He's not God, and there is a God outside of Him, and this God is very powerful, and he has to pray to this God to get what he wants, that will be his reality. Understand what I'm saying to you? If God believes that he is not God and there is a God outside of him that is responsible for everything, that is controlling everything, that will be his reality because he is God. He's the creator of reality. So that's what he has created. Created a reality where he is not God and there is a God outside of him that is in control. There's a reason why if a person like me went to Benny Hinn's church and he laid his hand on me, nothing will happen. I wouldn't fall down. My life wouldn't become better. I wouldn't receive the Holy Spirit. You want to know why? Because I have not given my power to him. I have not convinced myself that he hears from some being that is above me, and this being is the one that is actually using him to heal people, that is actually using him to deliver his message. I don't believe that. And because I do not believe that, he doesn't have power to heal me, to make me receive the Holy Spirit, to make me fall down, because I didn't give him that power. But if I did believe that, there is this powerful being that is outside of me and that is using Benny Hinn to deliver his message and to heal people, to help people, to save people, then he will be able to make me fall, because I would have decided to give him that kind of power over me. Whether I decide to give him that kind of power over me consciously or subconsciously, it wouldn't really matter. I would have given him that kind of power over me. You understand what I'm telling you? God is so powerful that he can bullshit himself and believe his own bullshit. One of my favorite quotes from the series, The Sinner. If you have not watched The Sinner, watch season 3 of that series. Each and every season is different, so you don't necessarily need to start from the first season. You can just, skip to the best season, season 3. I love that season because it makes you view reality in a way that you've never really viewed it before. Like the main character asks a lot of difficult questions that human beings do not ask themselves. I remember his friend asked a very important question. He asked, can God create a rock that he cannot lift up? Can he create a rock that is too heavy for him? I'm just paraphrasing. I don't really remember how he posed that question, but yeah, he was basically asking that can God create something that is so that he himself cannot control? Can he create something that is more powerful than him? Can he create a car that he cannot drive? And if he can, that actually means that he's not omnipotent, because he created something that he cannot move. He created a rock that he cannot lift. He created a car that he cannot drive. So that means that he's not omnipotent. If he can't, that also means that he's not omnipotent, because, well, he can't create a rock that you can. It had a bit. I thought that was an interesting question. Here's what you must realize. Because God can create anything, he can create a reality where he's so damn powerless that he believes that there is something outside of him that is in control. So he can create a rock that he cannot move. But if he really wants to move that rock, I would need to realize that he created it. He's the one who created that rock. So he can actually move it. He has the power to move it. So he can create a rock that he can move, but he can also create a rock that he cannot move. That's how powerful he is. So that still means that he's omnipotent. Doesn't mean that he's not omnipotent. Him being able to create a rock that he cannot move doesn't mean that he's not omnipotent. And him being unable to create a rock that he can, him being able to move a rock that he created so that it cannot be moved also means that he's omnipotent. Like, he's so damn powerful that whatever he decides to do, he does. And you might say, well, how does God realizes that he's God? That is a very important question. So God is omnipotent. He can create anything. He can create a reality where he's not God and actually believe that he is not God. He can create a reality where he is God and actually believe that he is God. So how does he realize that he's God? He needs to stop bullshitting himself. He needs to stop telling himself lies. He needs to stop creating background stories. He needs to forget everything that he made up. All the stories that they've made up. Like, all the stories that he's made up. You need to forget all these stories. Forget. He needs to forget even like everything that he sees. He needs to forget everything. Everything. He needs to quiet his mind. He needs to shut off the outside world. What's left? See, if he can shut off the outside world completely, what is left?
The last one, 50.
If you went to sleep and didn't dream at all, what would be left? You're sleeping, but you're not dreaming at all. Isn't it ironic that he's talking about God? He's talking about offering. And I'm talking about God. Wow. Wow. I love synchronicities. Has it ever happened that I'm talking about God and someone appears and he's also talking about God? I don't really talk about God. Like, I really talk about God. Now I'm actually making a video telling you that you're God and he's talking about God. And he's kind of doing the same thing that I'm doing. Look at him. Yes, of course, he's talking about Yahweh. Basically saying that Yahweh blesses people. They must give offerings to Yahweh. And that's when He's going to bless them. I'm telling you the truth. I'm waking you up. I'm telling you that there is no Yahweh. You are God. There is no God that is outside of you that is responsible for your existence. You need to shut off the outside world completely. Whatever is left, that's what you are. You are not your experiences, you are not your feelings, you are not your emotions. You are not your dreams. You are not what other people are telling you you are. Whatever that's left when you shut off the outside world completely, that's what you are. And that is God. The problem is that because God was confused, He didn't know why He exists, He gave His power away. And He had to. I don't blame Him. I don't blame you. You had to give your power away. But as you become more and more conscious, as you start asking more and more questions, you should actually be able to realize that you are the one who gave your power away. You are the one who believed that there was a God outside of you. You have the power to believe anything. Whatever you want to believe, you can believe it. You understand? Whatever you want to believe, you can believe it. The mistake that you have been making was that you have been giving your power to what you believe is outside of you. Be like, oh, tell me who I am. It's like being in a dream and asking dream characters to tell you who you are. They tell you you're a monkey. You're like, oh, I'm a monkey. Oh, I was created by a scientist. Oh, I evolved. I was once a fish and I evolved into what I am today. The dream characters will tell you anything. You want to know why they'll tell you anything? Because, well, they don't know anything. So they just tell you anything. So it's you who decide what actually makes sense, what to believe. So if you believe nonsense, that nonsense will be your reality because you're God. You understand what I'm saying to you? So if you believe nonsense, that nonsense is going to be your reality because you are God. So if you believe that you were once a fish, you became a monkey, and then you became a human, that is going to be your reality because you are God. If you believe that the earth is flat, that's going to be your reality because you are God. If you believe that we live in a dome, inside a dome, that's going to be your reality because you are God. If you believe that hell exists, that's going to be your reality because you are God. Understand? If you accept that as truth, like, yeah, there is a hell and I'm going to be judged. You're God. You're so damn powerful. So, whatever you say goes because you're God. You're responsible for reality. There isn't anything outside of you that's responsible for reality. So whatever you say goes. So if you say there's hell and there's someone who's going to judge you and you believe that, you make that your reality, and then that's going to be your reality. Life is God bullshitting himself. That's what life is. Life is God bullshitting himself. I mean, what should God do when you think about it? Like what should he do? You have been bullshitting yourself for too long. You've been bullshitting yourself for a very long time. And because of that, you forgot what you once knew. You forgot what you once felt. Because you've been bullshitting yourself. Now you are caught up in your own BS. You're caught up in your own dreams. If you've watched the movie Inception, you actually understand what I'm saying. Just that I forgot the name of the character that DiCaprio was playing, but his wife, I also don't remember the character that his wife was playing, but his wife, because in Inception they were actually able to go into dreams and live for as long as they wanted. They will be able to be in a dream for more than 70 years, while in what we call the real world, they've actually been, sleeping for like 2 hours. So his wife got lost in a dream that she actually thought that the dream that she was lost in is reality. So when she woke up into the what we call real reality, she felt like she was still it was not the real reality, like it was a dream. She ended up unaliving herself because she wanted to go back to the dream that they were in, that she felt was reality. There was no other person that would be able to convince her that that was a dream and she actually woke up into the real reality. She had the ultimate authority to decide what the truth was. So you are lost. You're lost in your own BS. You're lost in your own BS. Like, what is the truth? Oh, the truth is that I was created by some God and this God is going to judge me. Like, when you think about it, it is really stupid to believe that there is someone who's going to judge you. Like, why would God be evil? Why would God even want to judge you? Why would God want to control you? Why? Why would God say, oh, you can't do this, this is what you're supposed to do, and if you break the rules, then you've made all this shit up. Stop being angry at God. There is no God, I mean, there is God. You are God, but there is no God outside of you. So you shouldn't be angry at anything outside of you, because there is nothing outside of you. You being angry at something that is outside of you will be like if you had schizophrenia and you got angry because you were seeing something that wasn't there happening, that you didn't want to see happen. You shouldn't be angry at the Christian God. He sucks, but you're in a dream and you're dreaming that he exists. If this was a real reality, it wouldn't be this messed up. Ever wondered why when you are dreaming, you don't realize that you're dreaming, even if the dream that you are in really does not make sense, but you don't realize that you're dreaming? You can dream that you are a chicken and you don't wake up. You can dream that you have 4 hands, you don't wake up. You can dream that you are watching me on your cell phone, and then you find yourself in a cinema watching me and not even ask questions. You just believe that, well, you're in a cinema watching me, and you've been in a cinema all along watching me. It's only after you've woken up that you're like, what the hell? Why did I even believe that I can be watching someone on my phone and then find myself in a cinema? There are a lot of weird shit. There's a lot of weird shit that is happening that you don't even realize that is weird in this reality because you're still in it. You see? So you don't realize that it's weird. It's only after you will have woken up from this dream, from this illusion, that you'll be like, damn, why did I even believe that? That didn't even make sense. What I'm telling you is that this does not make sense. The thing is, because you're God, you can believe that something that doesn't make sense makes sense. You have the power to believe that things that don't make sense make sense. Just like I was telling you that you can believe anything. You have the power to believe anything because you're God. So even when things that do not make sense happen, because you want to believe that these things make sense, you're going to believe that these things make sense. That is why some people believe in religions that even children can see that, what sounds wrong. Why do these people believe in these religions? You have the power to bullshit yourself because you are God. You're omnipotent. This is your dream. There is nothing outside of this dream. There's nothing outside of you. There is no Jesus. There's no Peter. There's no Thomas. There's no Judas. There's no Moses. There's no Allah. There's no Muhammad. You made everything up. Isn't this time to take your power back? Than to feel like, hey, there's someone who's powerful that I must pray to. There's someone who's powerful that I must be angry at. It's your dream. Watch what happens happen. You don't really know how you are manifesting these things that are happening, right? So watch the things that are happening happen, but don't take these things seriously. Don't be attached to anything. Just watch and know that you're God having a dream. Keep on waking up. It will get to a point where you start to remember, because that is what you've been trying to do as a God, and you're omnipotent. So if you want to remember that you're God, if you want to realize that you're God, because you might not really remember because there's nothing to remember. You never even realized that you're God. You've just started to dream and then dream. So to realize that you're God, you need to actually decide to realize that you're God, because you're omnipotent. So you can realize that you're God, but it's up to you. Are you willing to actually take that step? the step that is going to allow you to realize that you are God all along. Are you ready for that? Are you ready for that realization? Or you want to believe these stories that you've been telling yourself the whole time about this reality? I mean, you can continue to believe the stories that you've been telling yourself. There's nothing wrong with that. I mean, you God, so you're the one who decides what's right and wrong. You have the power to decide what's right or wrong. So if you want to believe that God is outside of you and he is the one who's making, decisions for you, he's the one who's really in control, you can believe that. You can create a dream where there is a God that is outside of you that is responsible for everything that is happening in your life. I remember 2 years ago I made a video talking about solipsism. I was like, the biggest question that you need to ask yourself isn't that whether like God exists or not. Like that's not as important as realizing if you're not the only conscious being in the universe. Like that's the question that you need to be asking yourself, because you can have a dream where there is a God, and then you believe that there is a God and he's outside of you, but well, the truth is that he's part of the dream, right? So yeah, you can meet God because you've created him. You can find yourself communicating with God because you have created him and you have given him power, because you can have a dream where you are powerless and there's something that is outside of you that is powerful. So really, if you want to wake up, you gotta stop giving you gotta stop giving your power away. You gotta stop creating background stories to justify life. But you gotta stop creating background stories to justify life. Focus on the real truth. The real truth is that you're conscious. That's it. You're conscious. That's why you're having this experience. No background stories. No background stories. Just be conscious. And if you want things to happen a certain way, do what you believe you must do, or what you want to believe you must do to make things happen that way, and chill. Don't even stop creating backgrounds. Let's just say you want to go and live in another country. Decide how that should happen. I can decide that, okay, what's gonna happen is that there's gonna be a new pandemic, and people who are not sick will be allowed to go and live in another country. So that's how I'm gonna go and live in another country. You can decide that you're gonna find a job in another country, and then that's how you decide and wait. Don't even think about it. Don't even put any emotion into what you're trying to create. Just wait. Do other things. Try to not feel. that deeply. Just focus on doing. Stop, and you gotta stop living in fear. Stop stop telling yourself why things shouldn't happen the way that you want them to happen. Stop justifying your failures. What I'm telling you is what God should know on this video. Sometimes I make videos where I'm telling you things that God should know. Sometimes I make videos where I'm telling you what you need to know in order to detach yourself from this reality and then actually wake up. You see, so that you are no longer a vibrational match to this. So this is when I'll tell you things that actually make sense to any to every person that actually exists, except for people who are so delusional, they're so lost in this dream that they're actually delusional. Right now, what I'm telling you is what God should know. God should know that He is the dreamer of reality. God should know that He doesn't have to believe anything. God should know that He doesn't have to do anything. If He doesn't want to do something, He doesn't have to do it. He doesn't have to feel anything. He doesn't have to care. He doesn't have to worry. He can just be God. Ever realize that in this world there are some people who actually like being victims? Who actually like being betrayed? They like to complain about bad things happening in their lives. It's almost as if they don't want good things happen. They don't want to see good things happening in their lives. You find that a person respond better when negative things happen. Let's say someone gossips about them. Yo. They want to talk about it. They want to call everyone and say, yeah, this person is gossiping about me. Wow, this person really sucks. Yeah, I used to trust this person, but if good things happen, they don't even care. There are people like that. They get their high from negative things happening in their lives. That's what they want. So you must also be careful when you're trying to manifest what you want to manifest. You must ask yourself if you are not addicted to negative things happening so much that on a subconscious level, that's what you want. You want negative things to happen because you want something to complain about. You want something to cry about. When we were young, sometimes we did like crying. Like it felt good. You just want to cry. Something bad is happening, you just want to cry. It kind of felt good. Even wish that maybe can happen again. Ever listen to sad music? Like, yeah, I want to feel something. I want to or watch a scary movie, you want to be scared. Or watch a Tyler Perry movie, you want to be angry. Or watch a Nigerian movie, you want to see someone suffering and you feel all these emotions. But what you must realize is that there are things that you think you do not want, but that you actually want. And you don't even realize that you want these things. You just, like when these things happen, you give a lot of energy to you give a lot of energy to it, right? Like but then when good things happen, you don't really give a lot of energy to what has happened that is actually good. People are in denial. That's something that you must realize. They are people who like negative things. Like, for an example, people like to watch the news. Why? They want to see negative things happening. They want to hear that there are some people who were on a plane and then this and that happened, and like they want to hear some messed up shit. That's why they watch the news. Not because they want to learn something. They just want to hear. That is why people love gossip. That is why bad news travels fast. So we must also look within. Why are negative things happening in this world? What if negative things are happening because God loves seeing negative shit happening? You love to see negative shit happening. You love complaining. You just don't want to acknowledge that you do. People love to see accidents. Not lying to you. People be driving and they want to see a road rage. People fighting. They want to come across a car that caused an accident. That is why when people are driving and then they see something like that, they pay attention and they talk about it. They don't forget. They talk about it. Like, there was an accident. They'll even call someone sometimes. A person that doesn't even need to know that there was an accident. They'll call that person and tell them that there was an accident. Because on a subconscious level, they want to see that. When we were young, we loved seeing other kids fighting. I mean, when I was working as a teacher, it will be very hard to control your class when there's a fight in another class. They will want to run and see what is happening. Once they hear that, people are fighting, they want to run and see what's happening. Because they want to see people fighting. But when we get older, we like to pretend as if we don't want to see people fighting. But, well, people want to see drama. People love drama. I was talking to this other girl about relationships. I was like, you might think that you are a victim. I mean, you are, but I want to show you something. She was telling me that she loves her boyfriend so much, but he cheats on her. And I was like, what if you love that and you don't realize that you do? I mean, why do you love him? Do you think you love him if he wasn't cheating? She's like, yeah, I would love him even if he wasn't cheating. I was like, why do you love him? Why him specifically? Because really, if you don't want to be cheated on, it will be easy for you to love a guy that wouldn't cheat on you. Why him? Why do you watch a movie? Do you want to watch a movie where things are just going well? No drama, nothing. When a movie starts, the main character is happy and things keep on working out for them. No drama, nothing, no problem. Do you want to watch a movie like that? Or do you want to watch a movie that's full of drama? The main character goes through shit. Like, that's what keeps you interested. That's what keeps you watching. What if your boyfriend is doing is actually what keeps you interested? Him making you feel like you're gonna lose him. Him making you feel like he doesn't love you sometimes, and then making you feel like he loves you. Like, what if that's what you want? What if that's what makes you feel something? But then you hate it. I mean, you hate that you love it, so you say you hate it. Hey, we need to go deep into how we think, how we are as people. You know, this is not me blaming anyone for anything. I want you all to get that. But people are in denial. As a human, you are in denial. And you have to be in denial. You have to pretend as if you don't love some things that you actually love. That's part of you being God. You must bullshit yourself. You must create something that you're going to resent and pretend that you didn't create it. You're God, pretending that you're not God, and pretending, like, I don't even want to use the word pretending because it isn't really the right word. Like, you're not really pretending, you kind of like forgot. You're confused. It's like you're insane. You fell into insanity. So now you need to pull yourself out and realize that you're God. You're believing in your own delusions, just like a person who suffers from schizophrenia. You know, they're seeing monsters that don't exist, and they believe that these monsters exist. So that's what's going on here. You fell into a delusion that you took as reality, and in order to wake up, you must realize that you fell into a delusion, so that you literally need to let go of your beliefs, right? What you believe about this reality, the narratives, the background stories, all of that. So really, to wake up, you need to unprogram your mind. You need to go back to what you really are when everything else isn't happening. You need to go back to what you really are when you're not hallucinating, when you're not at school, when you're not studying, when you're not listening to music, when you're not having relationship problems. And that's how you wake up. Some people might say, no, what you're saying, Benedictine, is dangerous, because if people can believe that they are gods, that don't mean that they can do whatever they want to do because they're God. Like, they don't even have to believe in morality. But nah. You can also do good things because you believe that you're God. Like, you believing that you're God doesn't automatically mean that you're gonna do the wrong things. If that makes you want to do the wrong things, then you need to look deep within. What is it in you that makes you want to do bad things after realizing that you're God? Like, if you were dreaming and you realize that you're in a dream and you started to analyze people, why? Why is that fun for you? You would need to ask yourself why you would want to do that. Why do you have the desire to actually do that? You see? The people who have been doing horrible things in this world are people who have not been thinking deeply about reality, who have not been asking themselves what reality actually is, what existence actually is, what consciousness actually is. The people who have been hurt in their lives, people who believe in revenge, they believe in revenge because they believe that other people actually exist and they have their own minds and they have made their own decisions, and that is why the bad things that have happened have happened. But if you believed fully that there are no other people, then would you feel angry when they do bad things? If you believe that you are the only one here, would you feel angry when other people do bad things? Would you even wanna like fight with them? Would you even want to would you even give them attention? I remember there's this quote that I came across on Facebook some time back. It says, if a snake bites you, would you chase it, try to ask it why it bit you? Or you just be like, oh, a snake bit me, and then you try to heal yourself? You try to heal yourself, you wouldn't even care. You wouldn't want to chase it unless it's in your house, because you would be like, hey, it might bite me again, so I gotta find it. But really, if it's in the bushes, then you just let it go. And you try to find an antidote. So it's if you felt like other people didn't really exist and you were God, and you know everything was happening in your mind, even when people treat you badly, you'd be like, it is what it is, let me just focus on my own healing, and that's it. You won't be like, I want to hurt this person, you know, I hate this person, you know. No, you will just move on, because you would not have given these people power. The reason why you would let a snake go, even if it tried to unalive you, is because you have not given it power. But if it was a person, you'd want that person arrested and you want to see them suffer, because you have given other humans power. You're like, why would they do that? It wouldn't even matter to you if that person is insane, right? Like if a person who's actually crazy did try to unalive you, to you it wouldn't even matter. The problem is that you have given other people so much power that when they do whatever they do carries weight. Is it the problem? Like whatever they do carry a lot of weight. So you believing that you're God doesn't mean that you're going to be a bad person. You might do horrible things if you still need to heal, but you believing that you're God isn't a bad thing. People who are doing horrible things are not people who believe they are God. Like it's rare for someone who believes himself to be God to do something horrible. And even if they do something that's horrible, they don't do it because they think they're God. They do it because they just, had the desire to do that all along. Like it has nothing to do with them believing that they are God. I know there are cult leaders who have done horrible things in the past, and they understood what I understand. They didn't do horrible things because they believed they were gods. They did horrible things because, well, they still had desire to do these horrible things. Not because they thought they were God. It is important that you work on waking up. You're forgotten a lot of things that you once knew, and there are things that you probably didn't know that you actually need to realize. So you didn't know some of these things in the past that you actually need to realize. You didn't know that you're God, and after being lost in your own delusions, now you actually have to wake up and actually realize that you're God all along. There was no one outside of you who had power. It was you who actually had power. It was you who was making the decisions all along. It was you who was playing the game all along. Thank you all, guys.